All right, hey team, hey, it's Austin, and I'm huddling up with Hotline Bling right now, and we just noticed some trends that's been going on. We've had a lot of deals that are falling apart at an inspection, and so we were trying to dig in, like what's going on. One, we're finding that a lot of you guys aren't running the play and having that conversation of the scripting up front about setting the right expectation on before the inspection happens. And so there's a really great script in boot camp. It's the bears and the squirrels script. And so the conversation that you need to have with your client up front sounds like this. Like you got to reach out to your client, and you guys can kick in on this, but you got to reach out to your client and you got to let them know, hey, I'm really excited. We got you under contract. Here's what you can expect next. We need to get our EMD in. Okay. You've got 24 hours to get that over. I'm going to send you a link. The next thing that you got to do is you got to dive in and say, okay, now we need to do a home inspection. Now keep in mind on that home inspection, we're looking for the big stuff. It's like the home inspectors are going to find a million little things wrong with the house. We're looking for the big stuff. We're looking for like roof, foundation, furnace, like the big stuff. And you need to have that conversation up front. Then when you go to your inspection, have the conversation again, right? Have that conversation again with the client, remind them on the inspection. Then when the client brings you something big, let's pretend there's something wrong with the roof. What I wouldn't do, and what these guys are finding that you guys are doing sometimes, is the client will go, well, I don't want the house. The roof is a mess, da, 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 da. And then you're starting to agree with them. You're right. This roof is a mess. And what you're doing is you're killing your deals on the spot. When the actual conversation is, hey, well, if I can get the seller to fix the roof, would you move forward with the house? Because now in your brain, you might be thinking, well, the seller's not going to do that. You don't know that. I can't tell you how many times on an inspection, right? You guys back me up on this. How many times have you had an inspection that you thought it was dead in the water, and all you would do is went back and asked the seller, can you give us $5,000 to fix this? Or will you fix this? And then they did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happens all the time. And Doreen, Joe, Matt, I've known you guys for a long time. When you first started, you fought about this too. Like you fought me on this too. And I'd be like, hey, look, just ask, right, guys?
Yep.
Well, I mean, here's the thing is, especially early on, you want to please your client. You want to make sure they have a good experience. You want to get referrals. You want the deal to close. You don't want to lose the client, which is all great. But, you also have to be, what do you call it, Austin? A steward. You are a steward of the transaction. You are giving them, you are asking the questions, and you are guiding them towards their own decisions. And I think that a lot of you guys sometimes are quick to just agree. And it's not like you're disagreeing by asking questions, just ask questions. And same thing with asking the seller, ask questions.
Just ask.
You don't know the answer until you ask questions. So that's why you need to dig in sometimes. Hey, what's going on? Because sometimes your client may be like, they may not even give you a reason why they want to back out. They're just like, I don't want it. Stop asking me. I don't want it. Move on. Like, great. But like, I just want to make sure I have a good understanding so that we don't run into this issue on the next home, right? I want to, let's look out for these things moving forward, right? Because I don't want you to have to get your hopes up and then realize you don't want the house. So find some better ways to have those conversations, and also foreshadow them as well so that they know what to expect.
Yeah. You'd also be surprised when you're actually taking these questions to a listing agent. They want to keep a deal together just as bad as you want to as well. They don't want to go out and try to find another deal on this home. It's easier to keep a deal together than to go try to find another person to buy that house. So they're going to try to work with you as much as possible as well. So ask those questions and ask the listing agent for those things that your client wants.
Especially with the longer days on market, right? This puts your buyer in a unique situation where they can ask for it. There might be negotiation. They might not get everything, but it's not your job to have that opinion. It's your job to ask.
Yeah, totally agree. Here's the other thing I'll say. One of the things that we talk about is there's no emergencies in real estate. But what I often don't talk about is problems don't age well either. Okay. It's not an emergency, but you can't sit on a problem for 3 days either. So sometimes what happens is, especially when you first start in the business, or you have a situation arise that you haven't seen before, what you want to do is Like, I don't know what to do, so you don't do anything. You're afraid, or you're hoping it goes away. It doesn't. The reality is that these guys are very good at keeping deals together. It's a skill to keep a deal together. They have the ability to ask a different question. And so at the first hint of trouble on your deals, get Hotline Bling involved. At the first hint of trouble, even if you feel like it might be a stupid question. Instead, what you're doing sometimes is you're running around and asking people on the team, or you're putting something in GroupMe. And I encourage you to ask questions in GroupMe, but without the full context of the situation, you can't get an answer that you want. Like sometimes you ask questions to get an answer that you want instead of getting the answer that you need. Okay. And so I would encourage you, if you call these guys, get them involved quickly. And if they answer a question, it's probably the right way to do it. Even though it might feel uncomfortable or not feel like the right thing, this is how you would keep the deal together. By the time that you're getting them involved 3 days later, it's too late to save the deal. The client's already made up their mind that they're walking away from a transaction. But the earlier that you can guys, so problems don't age well in real estate. So get people involved quickly, like quickly. These guys work 7 days a week. And my guess is, and Doreen, Matt, Joe, you can back me up. The quicker that you get involved, the easier that you can save it. And my guess is that your save rate is really high if people get you involved quickly, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we're either gonna give you the scripting and the right things to do, or if it's, really gonna die, I mean, we may have to get on the phone with the client ourselves or with the agent or whatever the case may be. But at a minimum, I think you're gonna learn a lot just from having a conversation with us for some scripting or something to do. And we get a whole range of questions, whether it's some smaller tech issue to, I'm about to get sued or something. So don't be afraid to call us regardless of what that conversation is. As we heard on the meeting yesterday, there are no stupid questions.
Yeah. So anyway, get people involved. Here's the other thing. Don't be prideful. You guys, I have to have these guys save my deals sometimes. Seriously, there's a real power in a second voice. And sometimes someone coming in as a different voice and as an authoritative voice can keep a deal together. I'm telling you, like everybody needs help. Right? So anyway, I don't know. Anything else to add on that? Okay. Get Hotline involved quickly. Set the right expectation before the inspection.
You haven't had a pending yet. Use negotiation
Use
specialist.
a negotiation specialist. It's there for a reason. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the time.